to Rockin' Kentucky Blue, the podcast where we are serious about our Cats. Join two card-carrying Blue Rockin' members of the Big Blue Nation as they keep you up to date on the latest happenings of the University of Kentucky Wildcats. Here are your hosts, one calm member of the sports media, Michelle Mamba Brown, and one crazy fan, Jay Hayes.
We have worked our way into December and episode 46. We're just going to talk about this, that, and the other.
This, that, and the other, huh?
Yeah, there's a little of this in football, and there's a little bit of that in football, and there's, the other kind of like basketball. And
I was fixing to say, is the other basketball?
Well, if we really wanted to talk good basketball, we ought to be talking about the women's team.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
They were behind in a game against, who was Indiana?
Indiana. They were down double digits starting the fourth quarter, and they came back and won. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They destroyed Marshall last night.
Yeah. The women's team is clicking.
Yeah, and they lost their head coach a month before the season. Not even a month before the season. 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So there you have it. And their two best players suspended.
Yeah.
For the first two games and one of them for 3.
Yeah. Yeah. They're back now, though. And
now, Ryan hadn't been scoring as much as she normally does, but that has not slowed down her rebounding.
Right. Yeah. The women's team is phenomenal. I'd like to add that at the beginning of the season, we made our little crazy bold predictions. I said Final Four for this women's team.
Well, I said this was the year for it because I keep thinking they've got to break through for it. I mean, they went to too many Elite Eights and just been right there. Right. And now they've got that mix. They've got experience. They've got a lot of 5-star talent. They've got some transfers in to fill a couple of those little gaps of what we needed. And we've got some bigs finally. I mean,
yeah. Have to have bigs to compete in the SEC anyway.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and this is not meant in a disrespectful way, but I mean, it's the Amazon League.
Right.
I mean, these are giants out there, and no matter how big Kentucky looks in their early season games, I was always I go cover a game and when the league started, and I'm thinking, did our players take a shower in hot water and shrink? Because they looked way bigger last week, but man, you bring South Carolina or Tennessee or Mississippi State in there, and they just had, their shortest player was about the same height as our tallest player.
Yeah.
But,
I also said Final Four for our men's team, too.
Well, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not, and I'm going to stick with it, but.
Well, we'll get, because we've got to start with this and that before we get to the other, because there are plenty of things in the other.
Yeah.
But Camp Cal started, so,
Yeah.
Things that be a-changing, and they be a-changing quickly, if you ask me.
I believe so. I wasn't going to say that I've given up, because I haven't. Just not going to.
And by the way, don't try to pull me into any more of your Twitter fights.
I'm telling you, I was trying to be funny, and I don't know what. I argued with somebody. I went and got the proof on them, the audio. They said they was there, and I said, well, then they continue to argue. So I said, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'll pull some audio up for you so you can hear it once more, so you can hear it again. And no, you're just wrong. And I said, you know what? Perfect timing. I'm going to pull Michelle Mamba Brown into this because, she knows that I'm.
I went back and I read that whole thread and I went, you know what? I could say, there's a lot of things I could say.
Yeah.
And then I realized he wasn't listening.
No.
He wanted to be right,
And
no
that was
matter
it.
how wrong. And the thing that cracked me up, this is what cracked me up. And this is when I knew there was no point in saying another word.
Right.
Because he had 3 tweets where he said, it was unanimous they want to play in a bowl game. He said, Stoops said, it was unanimous.
Yeah.
It was you. And you went, no, that never happened. No, that never happened. He said, it was unanimous. No, it never happened. You're wrong. You just don't want to say you're wrong. And you're like, I'll get the audio. And then the guy said, they said it was a vast majority.
Unanimous.
And I just sat there and I read it and I went, nope, Jay, not taking the bait tonight.
He told me that I needed to learn to read. He said, maybe
Ah.
you need to learn to read. I'm like, okay, maybe you need to listen. He said he was there. So I don't know. I mean,
I wonder where there was.
yeah.
Because I'm pretty
thinking-
sure that press conference was
was
via
the Zoom.
Zoom.
I assume, but I think there actually is. They're letting a couple of the media personnel in now. I'm not for sure on that, but yeah,
But
mostly
he's
it
not
is.
media personnel, is he?
I don't know. I don't. That's how I was taking it. That he
I
was.
looked at his name, and he's nobody that I've ever heard of.
Well, needless to say, he doesn't follow me anymore.
Well,
But,
he never followed me, and I'm happy. If he
So-
was in the media, he wouldn't have been arguing that way about that. He would
know,
have pulled up
that's-
the quote. So he wasn't media.
So I pulled it up for him.
So my
the
guess
audio.
is he was listening to the Stoop show.
and I told him, I said, well, maybe because Stoops hit on it again. Someone,
Yeah.
asked the question again and how he went about, voting and whatnot. I said, well, maybe you just listened to the beginning and didn't hear the whole thing. And I was still, you could see all the way through. I was still.
You were
nice
very
and
polite and professional, and he was an idiot. But we've come to expect that.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, the biggest part of this is that, and we talked at great length last week about everything this team has been through,
Yeah.
but they ended the season on as high a note as they could have.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
absolutely thrashed South Carolina.
Yeah. 41-18.
And I don't want to hear one more word from anybody, anywhere, any place, at any time about poor South Carolina. They were terribly undermanned. They were so shorthanded.
Yeah.
We heard about it every series.
I was like, Kentucky's missing.
We went to
people.
Alabama and we were missing 13 people, I think 6 of which were starters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then next week we go to Florida, we're missing 18 people.
Yeah.
7 or 8 of which are starters.
Yeah. Wasn't a big deal though.
And then we were missing 14,
Yeah.
13 or 14 against South Carolina.
Right.
Nobody said squat.
Wasn't a big
And
deal.
yeah, like Quentin Bohanna, like our run defender.
That's a big deal.
I tell you, we need to get Corey Price on a project. Find out what our rushing yards allowed was when Quentin played and what
Yeah.
it was when he didn't play.
Right. And of course, that's where they ran.
But even so, 169 yards rushing for their team is not exactly running over another team.
Yeah. Yeah. The back that they got though is he's a hoss.
Let's just say he's a real deal.
He is the real deal. Harris, I believe his last name is, but he is the
Mhm.
real deal. Great running back.
Sorry, a little bit of that coffee went down the wrong way, and that's just no fun. No fun
Right.
at all.
We had a couple running backs go over 100 yards. Chris Rodriguez 139 yards, and AJ Rose 101 yards. So I mean, like you said, perfect way to go out.
Well, and Terry Wilson. I mean, some of the passes he threw, some of his
Right.
scrambles, and for all of the crap that people have dished on him all year, ever since he took over, he's gotten crap, and it's like ridiculous. I don't understand it. There's always somebody. They want Gunner. They want Bo. They want Joey. Like I don't even know who they want. I can't remember their names.
Yeah, Scowls
They
though.
want anybody.
Allen,
Anybody.
yeah.
Anybody but Terry.
Yep.
But let's take a look in UK football history. I remember a quarterback in the 70s, Bill Ransdell. He managed to lead the Cats to victories in Knoxville and in Gainesville. And that was pretty hot Kentucky team. That's the last time we had one of those 10-win season type things. And since then, no quarterback has won at Florida and at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a whole bunch of quarterbacks that never won at home or in Gainesville against Florida.
Yeah.
31 years worth of losing to Florida.
Yeah.
Terry Wilson did both of those.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Florida and Tennessee on the road. Wow. Yeah. Like, but he's still, I guarantee you, there's still people out there that's like, no.
Oh, I know you are, because I heard him. And I'm like, do you not understand what he did? Do you not understand how incredibly special and rare that was? Now, when the quarterback they've called for starts playing next year and then they can't beat one of those teams on the road, we don't play either one of them on the road next year, do we?
No.
That's okay. There's somebody he won't beat.
Right.
And it'd be, oh, wish we had Terry. No, you don't.
Right.
You appreciate it when we had him.
Right. In the South Carolina game, he went 17-26 for 201 yards. So,
how many rushing yards did he have?
I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure on that.
I'm not, and I was like, oh, I don't have to write this down, put it in the outline because I'll remember. And well, I had an interesting afternoon and I forgot a lot.
Right.
But anyway, Terry had a solid game all the way around. And I could be wrong. I absolutely positively could be wrong, but I would say that we had more completions to tight ends than we had the whole year combined.
Right. And he had it 46 yards rushing.
Okay, yeah, I knew. I was thinking like 50. I think, well, no, maybe it wasn't 50, but I was close in that neighborhood.
Right.
Good.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the tight ends. It was a happy New Year, fellas. Catch another one.
Yeah. Justin Rigg, 3 catches for 72 yards. Big. So
it's like they can catch them.
Yeah,
the thing that gets me, it's not like that we don't ever throw to them. It's that the plays don't always come out. You draw them up, and somehow the tight end either gets wrapped up or the quarterback gets slammed so quickly they've got to just dump where they can.
Right.
Sometimes it's just a flat misread. I'm not going to say that it's never Terry's fault.
Well, what about the big play last year at Missouri?
Why?
Terry Wilson.
Well, I told everybody, I said, they had that, they tried to run that play 6 times in the last 3 weeks. One time, over the defense, they cut Conrad off. He couldn't get there anyway.
Right.
I said, a couple of times, I said, the line just let the rushers through. I said, Terry didn't have time to let that develop.
Right.
I said a couple of times he had somebody else just screaming wide open further down the field, and that's where he have a pass. And there's a couple of scrambles. I said, but it's not like they never draw the play up. It just doesn't always pan out. And I said, against Missouri, it did. The third time they tried to run it that day, it finally came through, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah. Eddie Gran was in his bag several times this year, even though people didn't give him any credit. Any credit, respect that he deserved. But the South Carolina game, I was happy about this. We needed that, regardless of both sides, both teams had a lot of players out. South Carolina, their coaching situation. I mean, it is what it is. And now maybe bowl game.
Well, they said they're playing in a bowl. I don't know what bowl it is. It could be the Tidy Bowl for all we know.
Well, I mean, Music City or the two.
It'll be a
bowls
no
that we
fan
are.
bowl. Is what it'll be, a no fans allowed bowl.
Yeah,
So I don't understand how they're making very much, because that's like the big thing is ticket sales
yeah,
and all of the shirts and the swag they
Right.
sell. And
yeah, yeah.
I just, for some reason, I don't see that the TV ratings are going to carry all that money, and they think they're going to.
Right, and they give a lot of stuff away. It's about the free stuff. I think it's what is it, $500 a player, something like that.
Well, I think it's got to be more than that, because when they did the Belk Bowl, they got $500 cards to spend at Belk, and they had other crap. Well, it wasn't crap. It actually was good stuff.
I'm not for sure, but it's somewhere around there. I think.
Maybe that's an average between, because I'm sure bigger bowls have bigger swag, and
Right, so that might be
like
something
an average, or maybe that's a minimum.
Right, that might be something different this year. They might not,
But anyway, it's like you pointed out. Actually, we had all these things going. We had special teams working.
Yeah.
We had offense working. We had
Yeah.
defense working.
Well, we say defense, but this is the second week in a row. And it irks me, but I know it happens. But the second week in a row that we got on a fake punt drives me nuts.
And somehow, I keep thinking if we had a designated special teams coach, that's the ones that can tell you what to look for.
Yeah.
And would work with your defensive coordinator and say, when you see this setup,
Right.
this is going to happen. And that is more of a special teams thing. That's less defense and more special teams.
But 2 weeks in a row, I was so
Okay, but we didn't have special teams coordinator anyway. But you're right. Eddie Graham was probably his most versatile.
Yeah.
I think of the season, clearly. And a lot of, there's been a lot of things he has tossed out this year. We've seen it in spurts, but South Carolina, it was a pretty steady diet of it. And so Eddie's reward on Monday morning was to be relieved of his job.
Yeah.
As was Darren Henshaw.
I talked to a lot of people, and they kind of thought that Henshaw was gone, but wasn't too sure about Eddie Grant. And I even said, how does Kentucky let the most football-minded coach on this staff go? That's my opinion, but I don't get that. But I'm sure Mark Stoops said that him and Eddie talked. I think Eddie maybe had some decision in this.
Well, Eddie, well, at least he handled it very classy, as did Henshaw.
Right.
Neither of them had anything in the least bit negative to say about any of it. Not even that they were sorry they had to leave. It was more of, they were proud of what they were able to accomplish while they were here and the part they were able to play in building up Kentucky football.
Yeah.
And I was like, dudes, rock on.
Yeah.
But this is, because we've talked about this. So I've wondered if Eddie was held back by Stoops. And there's times I feel like he has been. There's other people that say just unequivocally not true. Not true at all.
Right.
A
lot of people say handcuffed.
This is how we're going to find out. So either, and there was some buyout money involved too, not an insignificant amount. This means Mitch had to have his blessing, because you can't pay, especially in a year where revenues are at a premium.
Right. And
you're paying to get out. There's something. This was a bold choice, is what I'm saying.
Right. What was the payout? Like 3.2 million.
Yeah, I don't know what Henshaw didn't Henshaw have a little bit. It wasn't a huge amount, but
750,000 or something.
I was going to say
that.
Together it was coming in about $4 million for the two.
Yeah, something like that. I think exactly like 3.2 or something, somewhere around there.
For
I've seen that
them?
for both of them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think because I think Eddie's was 2.4.
Yeah.
I think now that I'm like seeing written up there, his buyout was 2. No, I don't have photographic memory, but I'm seeing 2.4 after his buyout was.
Right. And he just signed an extension last year.
But anyway, regardless of all that, we're talking, $3 million at least.
Yeah.
To let these coaches, not to let them, to make them go on their way.
Yeah.
So Stoops he's going to be under a great deal of pressure, actually. He has got to find a top-notch offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It's got to be one who can balance the run with a passing attack.
Yeah.
It's got to be one, if it's true that Stoops doesn't let you practice wide receiver drills, better be able to stand up and make that happen.
Yeah.
And if we end up with the same conservative run, smash mouth offense, Stoops will be exposed.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. I think he will be exposed, but I do think, or maybe this is a question for you. Is this the most or the biggest hire of his life or his career? This is very important hire.
Very important. I mean, the biggest, I don't know.
I mean, of course, because he's got career left. I mean, I get that, but.
Well, I mean, I think that when he had to go through the defense, after you got this defense that is just otherworldly, and oh yeah, your defensive coordinator just got hired away. What you going to do?
Yeah.
But he was smart. He handled that very well, and Brad White is no slouch.
Although those two fake punts.
Special teams. That's special teams out there, not the defensive coordinator.
Still.
His biggest hire right now for me is get a special teams coordinator. This by committee crap ain't working.
I agree. 100.
We always do better when we have a designated coordinator.
Yeah.
But this is, like I said, it's going to be put up or shut up time here.
Yeah.
And maybe there's two things, maybe the two things can be true. Maybe he was handcuffing Gran.
Yeah.
And he knows he's got to have somebody in that'll do a pass. He can hire him in and not have a history, not have a long-term friendship too. That's another thing.
Right.
And I think maybe it made it possibly more difficult for Eddie, that he's always reporting to Stoops.
Yeah.
And Stoops like, man, I need you to do this. Man, I need you to do that. Well, what's he going to do? Like, man, this guy got me a heck of a job. I am in a sweet. I'm going I go to him once, go like, hey, coach, I want to do this. But I want to do this. Okay, coach. And the guy might dude, how'd that work for you last time?
Yeah.
So got to get somebody that's got a little pushback in them. Not disrespect level pushback, but enough that you hired me to run an offense. Let me run the stinking offense.
Yeah, let me show you.
When it stops working, we'll reconvene. Then we'll try your way again.
Right. I hated to see Gran go. A lot of people, they give him hell. But man, Eddie Gran knows what he's doing. And everyone is like, he just don't. Eddie Gran is the man. Could he done some things different? Of course. I mean, that falls on the players as well. I mean, talent.
The only real issue I had with him was that women's clinic when he told the very inappropriate joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And
not good with people, but.
Well, I mean, he was nice enough any other time, but you don't tell a joke about periods with 300 women in the room.
Period.
Full stop. We'll just go full stop on that. And because the next year, of course, I got my little media tag on. I went up and I said, "You going to start with any jokes today?" Yeah, he kind of like tilted the head, and I got the
Oh yeah,
eyes over the top of the glasses.
yeah,
I said, I had to ask.
yeah,
I said I was defending you as much as I could. As I think one particular website made way too much of it. The women kind of like, but they did not boo him. They did not say hateful things.
yeah.
But when he turned and he looked, he goes, maybe not funny for this room.
Yeah.
And I was like, mm-hmm. And that was it. And he moved on, and everybody paid attention to the rest of his presentation. But one website, and I'm sure you know the one it is, the one that's saying, what a big liar Cal is.
Oh wow, it's weird. I mean, like I know his name, but and when I saw it, I was like, did they get an intern to write this? And I thought it was so funny. I was like, wow, this is the crap you put on the intern.
Well, yeah, because if you get pushback, well, we try not to censor our interns, yada, yada, yada. Hogwash. I'll guarantee you order the intern to say that.
Right. Now, I will say there was some truth.
I don't think Cal's a liar.
I don't either. And I'm not saying that, but if you read the article, it goes on to say, this about Cal and this about Cal. But there was some strong stuff in there too, also calling him a liar and this and that. And this time, I mean, like, who are you, first of all, to tell a national title winner that it's time for them to
a Hall of Fame coach?
It's time for you to be honest with us Kentucky media people now, Cal. So I thought that was funny.
Well, and I saw a bunch of this, like the Keon Brooks injury.
Yeah.
Well, how could he not know? He did this and he did that. Why is Cal lying? Cal's not lying.
Right.
Just like Jared Vanderbilt. Cal wasn't lying about that either. Jared,
I don't think he was lying about that. I think that was on Vanderbilt's end, though, because Cal came out and said, "It's on you now. It's on you now to come back."
I know what he said, and if you had maybe held your breath for 15 more seconds, you would have heard this. With Vanderbilt, he did have an injury. He was having a tough time coming back, but when he was officially cleared medically, Cal had no problem saying, they've told him now it's safe to play. He can come back. It's on him to do it mentally.
Right.
There was no line, but people, it ought to happen now. Well, you get it. And I've said this, I'm not a world-class athlete or an elite athlete of any stretch of the imagination. Never was. But I know what it's like to have an injury in your knee, and I know what it's like to try to come back and do something normal and not have in the back of your mind that I wasn't doing anything abnormal the first time. What's to say that I'm not going to just step an eighth of an inch wrong and rip my knee apart and start this all over again? I mean, it stays in your head. Now, whatever is with Brooks, they said, well, it sure didn't hurt him on pro day. Well, I think the only thing he did on pro day was the 3-point contest, maybe.
I'd have to go back and look at that. But
I don't think he was doing the whole thing. It's not like you're cutting and pivoting, whatever the issue is. There are some things that you can do. But that doesn't mean you can play full out basketball.
Yeah. And I know the comments that you're talking about. I know who they came from. But yeah, I mean, they're right there watching it. But I did see that, something about Brooks, another 2 or 3 weeks, says Cal. I posted a picture of Jared Vanderbilt with it. I mean, could this be that kind of situation to give the kid and say, when you're mentally ready to come back, you come back? Has he been cleared? Because he has been practicing.
I have no idea. But what gets me is the guy said, well, I think I have, and this was just a typical Joe Blow in a thread. Well, I have a right to know what his injury is. Oh, really? Well, and somebody said, how is it? He goes, because I want to know.
Right.
And
cracked me up with the media guys going, "It's time for Cal to speak up and tell the truth."
Well, and these other guys are sitting there going like losing their ever loving minds because he only answered X number of questions.
Yeah.
After Georgia Tech's like our bus is leaving.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bad look. You can't be doing that. Well, and I saw 2 or 3 of the media guys, and I've sat in the media room with them many times, and I've heard you ask your 17 questions after a game.
Yeah.
And I've heard you complain that after 16 of them, Cal never answered that question and talked about what he wanted to talk about in the first place. Right. So you wanted him to miss the bus or delay the bus so he could not answer your questions.
Cal does divert.
Yeah. And the thing is, everybody knows it. So why are you going to sit there and have a Cal? Because he's going to have a press conference the next day. Yeah. Is there anything that he could say tonight that's going to make, is it going to, all of a sudden we're going to have won the game?
Right. You to be honest with you, I only watch the post game because of Cal. Really. I mean, like, I'll watch the game. I know what happened. I don't care if he answers it. Actually, I would love if he came out there like beast mode, like, I'm just here so I don't get fired. And when somebody asked him something else, I'm just here so I don't get fired. I would love that. That would be awesome.
And that's what he is most of the time. I mean, he likes, well, I'll take that. No, this isn't fair. I was going to say he enjoys coming out after the wins, but I've seen him be just as anxious to leave after a win as he is after a loss. Yeah. But, I'm sorry, but for the members of the BBN, have you been under a rock for the last 10 years? I ask, have you? You had to have been, because we go through crap like this in November, December every year. And immediately we have this whole big bunch of the fan base trying to fire Cal. I'm sick of one and dones. They can't even stay around. The NCAA screwed that up good. And it's not an NCAA rule for all you people that keep on your little UK groups because you want to pretend you're part of the media. And you go, well, the NCAA put up this rule. You can't blame Cal. He's just working. No, the NCAA didn't come up with the rule.
Right. That's the NBA rule.
It's NBA Players Association rule, not even the NBA.
Right.
The Players Association came up with this. So get your facts straight. Then you can come back and talk to me about it. Yeah. But don't tell me you're going to fire Cal, because you're not. You're sick of one and done. Be sick of it, because you always sick of 4 and more. Yeah. I mean, Tubby can't recruit the elite players. Okay, Cal gets all the Cal can't recruit the people that'll stay.
Yeah, they hate running deep every year in the tournament. they absolutely hate it.
Yeah, isn't it horrible?
They hate it. Seriously, I don't think people understand how hard actually the NCAA tournament is to win. Like,
it is the hardest tournament in the world, because it's the only one, to my knowledge. Well, that's not true. Football, of course, but football's a whole other animal. Everything with football is a one and done.
Yeah.
You have such a small season or short season, and the playoffs, it's always, here you go. 1 you're out, 1 you're out, 1 you're out. Although you can earn a bye week. Can't do that in the NCAA tournament anymore. Cal can't coach. He doesn't even know how to coach. That's the whole problem. He doesn't know how to coach. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many stories I read this summer about, I don't think people know exactly everything Cal does.
Yeah. I always hit them with, or after a game when they say that, I'm like, what offense did we run? What did we do? They're like, Cal can't coach.
Oh, yeah. There was somebody that went on this whole big, long diatribe in one of the groups. And he's going, the only thing Cal knows how to do is dribble drive. Have we done that since 2009?
Right.
We haven't.
Yeah. I mean, people panic, and I get it. Fans, they're being fans of their team, and I'm right there with you. I get it, but we've been here before. This is not the first time. Even though it is a little hard to watch right now, we've been here before.
And if you don't know what you're talking about, there's a very wise saying. It's better to be thoughtful and remain silent than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what kind of offense we're running, don't say the only thing he knows how to do is dribble and drive, since we haven't done that. My other favorite one. Cal only cares about the kids going to the NBA, doesn't want to win championships.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If you get the kids that are likely to go to the NBA in the lottery after one season, you're going to have a fighting chance to win an NCAA championship.
Yeah.
Then there was the fan who said, we've already proved you can't win with freshmen. Okay, excuse me, ma'am. The 2012 team would like a word with you over here in the hallway.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that has some truth to it. More experienced team is more likely. That's probably the bigger percentage to win a title. I mean, there's some truth to that. But freshmen can win a title. It's happened.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, to say that it cannot happen was what this person said. It cannot happen. Yes, it can, and it did.
It can, yeah.
And of course, the same old, this person sucks, that person sucks, and this person never should be on the court. And again, you know how Cal doesn't he never recruits 2 or 3 year players. Well, that's not true. He recruits 2 or 3, at least 2 year players every single year. Yeah. It is not his fault that those 2 year players work their butts off and all of a sudden they're lottery picks.
Yeah.
Not his fault. And to round out that fun thread on Facebook, I'm telling you, I didn't know at one point, well, do I pull out my hair or do I just laugh? I finally settled for laughing because it hurts if you pull out hair. We suck so bad we can't even win 10 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't even going to watch. Well, I think I remember last year you were done after Evansville, and the year before you were done after another November game. All you people, when y'all done, you're not going to watch them. Really, please, just go away.
Yeah. I saw NIT a few times. Our Cal a lot. It's time for Cal to go. I saw that a bunch. I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm done with this team. I saw that a lot. Yeah, they're there. I wonder if these are the same people saying, put Gunner in. I would bet money they probably are.
I would absolutely, because there is a certain portion of the fan base that doesn't matter what you do. They want to be something different. They are not happy unless they're complaining.
Yeah.
They want everybody to be as miserable in life as they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it used to bother me, but it doesn't now.
Now I laugh at it now. Well, there's a lot of things that I recognize. There's a lot of things in life that are so much more important than Kentucky basketball. And a lot of people, well, you must not be much of a fan. Well, that's not true at all.
Right.
I just know what my priorities are. Yeah. And my priorities are God and my family and then my cats. And when I keep my priorities like that, I can be disappointed when we lose games. I mean, I can be like, how could that, and while I'm watching the game, get frustrated.
Right.
But when it's all said and done, if I'm going to still be mad, I mean, there's people that are still mad about the Wisconsin game.
Yeah.
Oh, heck, there's people still mad about Duke 92. Like, let it go. I mean, there's a lot of things, you give me a week with my brother again.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy. We could lose every game to Duke from now for the next 10 years if I had one more day with my brother.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what people seem to be missing. And you would think in the middle of a freaking flipping roaring pandemic, get your priorities straight, people.
Yeah.
Don't let your frustration with being tied up, locked in, locked down, torn out, whatever you are. This is just
I'm just happy that we get
They're sports.
and believe me,
Remember
I
where you
hate
were in
losing more
July.
than I like winning. I'm a very competitive person, but I'm happy to see these young guys get to play through a pandemic.
We're all with with Anthony White, Anthony White. We're all with him. Hate losing more than we love winning.
Yes.
But when the game's over, I let it go, because if I stay angry, the loss doesn't turn into a victory.
Yeah.
The players don't hear me. If the players did hear me, it'd be me on social media tagging them, and that's just tacky and wrong.
Yeah. And that's
immature.
That's like junk food. You know what I'm saying?
No, junk food at least tastes good. I'm saying it's more like,
I'm saying you got to exercise your mind. You fill your head with negativity, then you're going to fall into those groups, and yeah, they are trash. You're going to, I'm telling you, you'll fall into that. You got to exercise your mind, and junk food ain't the way.
But see, here's what I do. I look and say, what were the issues that contributed most to that game being lost?
Yeah.
I'm not the coach. I'm not going to tell the coach, but this is my little checklist that I have. And then I find out how right I was. But I mean, it's exhausting to keep track of how many times I'm right. I know you know that.
I'm still trying to find a time when you were right.
No. How about the DM you sent? Okay.
Wow, really? I mean, you're just going to call me out live like that?
Yes, I am. If you're going to lie to that extent, I am definitely going to call you out.
Right.
And I don't mean to be right all the time. It just happens naturally. I'm sorry.
And just pour it on thick.
No, I'm just pouring it on
thick.
The way it is. Just, I'm being real here. It's not, how I say it, it's not being cocky if it's accurate. I'm sorry. It just is.
Well, let's just, I'm right a lot myself. Don't even do it, because I'm right a lot. For those listening on the podcast, Mumble Brown is now holding up a sign that says incorrect.
Because you are absolutely.
I've been right a lot. But sometimes I just play this role. People don't know, but sometimes I play this role. I play a role. Way too optimistic. Okay. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing. Don't let no one tell you.
Except that it doesn't make you right. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So what I've looked at so far, and I think this is like what I think doesn't matter. Coach Cal's got to be the one that recognizes things, and I'm pretty sure he's recognized them because he's seen the same things and he looks at the same numbers I've looked at. And I'm not a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah. Cal knows what he's doing.
So here's the number one thing. And if we fix this one problem, I guarantee you that it will guarantee us a number of wins in a hurry. And that is reducing the turnovers by 80%.
Yeah.
And everybody, well, that's a large number. Yes, it is. That tells you how many turnovers we had, 80%, and we would still have an average number of turnovers left.
Yeah.
They need to treasure every possession as if their life depends on it. Now,
Mintz is the only player that has more assists than turnovers.
Yeah, when you look at a game and there's, was it 37? Once it gets past 30 once it gets past 20 turnovers, I don't want to look at that number in the box score anymore.
Yeah.
And when I saw it approaching 40, I'm like, I'm turning off the live stat thing. Not going to watch it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm already doing laps around the way my apartment is laid out. You walk in the door and you can either go straight down a hallway or take a right and you go through the kitchen. And you walk through the kitchen, you come out the dining room. Hang left, you're in the living room. Hang left, you're in a hallway that goes to the bathroom, bedrooms. Hang another left, and you're back out the door. So I got this little square. That's where I do my laps. And of course, I can see the TV from 3 of the rooms, and I can hear it in all of them.
Yeah.
And if I put the TV on in the bedroom, I'm only like, just the trip through the kitchen where I can't see the screen, but it makes me feel better. So fix the turnovers. That's my number one thing. I want to see them do that. You reduce the turnovers. That fixes a whole lot of ugly.
How?
How what?
Fix the turnovers. How?
Well, first off, you're going to have to get into some basics on passing.
Right.
What is a good pass? What is a bad pass? That
Right.
and things that worked in high school that don't work in college.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is Camp Cal officially started this week. They're doing 3 a days. And I can promise you that in these sessions, you will have the little breakout session. Things you did in high school you can't do here.
Yeah.
Make a bad pass, run the stairs. Don't catch a good pass, run the stairs.
Yeah.
Actually, they've got Henry. They've got Henry the treadmill. He's back out because they don't really have stairs to run in the practice gym.
Yeah.
So I think that they end up having to do some time on Henry.
I've saw a few clips of, sit in the wall, those kind of things. Nothing bad, but they said that Cal is on their butts big time. So
Well, now Rob has done that. That's one of their standard conditioning things because at the women's clinic, we didn't have it this year, obviously. But each year in the women's clinic, he will actually do some of the conditioning drills. And he doesn't give the ladies, you all see when he makes a whole room full of ladies plank for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And then have Ellen Calipari and Jim Palumbo have a plank off. And Ellen kicked her ass. Just saying. Ellen can plank for 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
And the last 45 seconds, one arm.
She's the tougher one out of her and Cal, I believe.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah. I mean, if it had depended on men going through labor to have kids, I think they would have stopped after Aaron is the oldest, I think. Yeah, that'd been the end of the kid thing. There wouldn't have been 3. Anyhow, so we it's the passing.
Yeah.
Passing is one of the biggest things on the turnovers. The other one is over dribbling.
Trying to do too much with the ball.
Yeah. So I think, and that's kind of, and a lot of that is because there's your open guy. And I did see today, they put out a video and they were working specifically. Yeah, you can get to the basket, but look over here.
Yeah.
And they were stopping. They were doing the head fakes. They were doing kicking back out. And a bunch of them were hitting the ball from deep. Kick the ball out. Whoosh. Don't take the hurried 3. Let your feet get set. Much higher probability of the ball going in the hoop.
Yeah.
So, have we adequately covered that part on that? Here's the thing. Here's the other thing we got a problem with. And the player said it. And Cal has since acknowledged it because and this is what gets me. People say, well, Cal lies, Cal pushes everything. He's put it all off on the players. That's not true. There's some things he said that the players have to do, which is true.
Yeah.
And so what Cal always throws the players under the bus. That's one big load of bull manure. Because Cal said, this shows me I have not taught them what, you don't put this on the kids. This one's on me. I haven't taught them that yet. Yeah. And then as soon as he does that, oh, there goes Cal again, just trying to lie. Okay, if he doesn't say anything, he's throwing the players under the bus. When he does say something, you're telling him he's lying.
Yeah. It's never enough.
Nothing. Nailing Jell-O to a tree. I've said that many times. Go out and look for a GIF. Do that search on Giphy. Jell-O to a nail Jell-O. And they'll show you. Put a nail through it and the Jell-O just put another nail doesn't make just know how many nails you put in. That's how many times the Jello can squish away. The other thing, and because Cal said he hadn't coached him, it's to, and I think this had to be a top priority, is to identify or give yourself an offensive identity.
Yeah.
And this doesn't have to be what's going to work the whole season, but right now, your team needs to have 2, 3, 4 basic sets. This is what we're going to do. When everything else fails, go back to this. This is who we are. And maybe it's we're big down here and we're going to inside out till we find the open shot. Whatever that is. However that looks up, give them 3 or 4 plays that they can get into that one comfort thing. They know what to do then. Yeah. If what you wrote up here doesn't pan out, they know what they can do without having to look back at you.
Yeah.
And try to read lips through a mask, which, quite frankly, even with the clear ones, with the glare, I don't know how they can do that. Although, it's real easy to hear what Cal is saying these days. 3,000 people in the stands, I can hear every single word.
Yeah.
Some of them I shouldn't hear.
I've sat behind Cal before. Yeah. That's fun time. Doesn't bother me at all. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't bother me at all, but
But and again, but like I said, that's the thing, and I'm sure that's part of what he's working on now too, besides the passing basics.
Yeah.
And I think this was a point that I had made last week with Roger. He's like, Cal's not going to take you out if you miss a shot.
Yeah.
But Cal might take you out if you take a bad shot.
Yeah.
Because then that becomes an enforced turnover. If you have got something, if you've done the right inside out passing, your feet are set, you get it, you're open, you line up, you've got good form, perfect time. That's the shot you should take. You should take that 3 from the corner. It bounces off the rim. You're not going to get yanked for that. But you go running down, there's 4 people in front of you, and you decide you're still going to put a shot up when you've got 3 people behind you open, you're probably going to take a seat on the bench.
Yeah.
And Cal's got to be a little, I think we've done enough of letting them hit rock bottom. I think they're broken down. It's time to build them back up, but only build them up to the point of you're going to do what we tell you to do, or you can sit on the bench and you're going to bring, as you like to say, next man up.
Next man up.
See, I told you like to say that.
That's right, though. That's big facts.
I thought we were going to get through a show without you saying that. Anyway, the other thing, and I'm actually not totally displeased, but the last couple of games, it's like especially in the last 5 to 7 minutes, the defense just melts.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, the first half and the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, these guys have shown an amazing willingness to play defense and embrace, and they don't back off from contact. Well, I kind of think Askew maybe doesn't like to get too much contact. He backs up a little from it. But for the most part.
Yeah.
Now you tell me you agree or disagree with that assessment.
I totally agree. Big, because I said this in the Moorhead game, and we won that game. Said our passing is just, oh my goodness, passing, and that was the big thing for me. Physicality. The last thing you said, I think we could be a little more physical. Georgia Tech just kind of manhandled us, really. I thought.
Well, what I saw on that. Just my 2 cents on the heels of the Richmond and Kansas games. I saw them not having confidence what to do offensively.
Yeah.
You almost saw like big giant question marks popping out on their foreheads.
Yes.
And so when they were doing that, it was kind of like, well, and they didn't have focus. They were missing focus because they didn't know what to focus on.
Yeah.
Now, I said there's like Boston and Jackson, they're going to be there and they're going to be erasing shots. Everybody said we need that junkyard dog. I think the junkyard dog's Cameron Fletcher.
I think you might be right.
But
he's going to be up on somebody. I know that. He didn't see any time in this Georgia Tech game for some reason. I thought that was weird. But who knows? There's probably Cal had a reason for that, but
well, and there's been so many things going on in so many places. I just haven't even really paid attention to it because I'm not concerned because I know what happens.
Yeah.
Again, because I have not been under a rock for the last 10 years.
Exactly.
And as bad and as horrible and as just disorganized and disarray as the team may be in November, I know what it's going to look like in February.
Yeah.
And I know everybody else is going to know what it looks like in February, and everybody else like, don't put them in our bracket. That's how that's going to. Speaking of, so anyway, I'll just wrap this one up with a bow. Back off, people. Take a chill pill and try to remember what it was like last November. Even more importantly, remember what you said in July. I don't care how bad it is. If you'll just give me basketball, I'll be happy. I won't complain about anything. Liar.
Liar, liar. Pants on fire.
Man, wouldn't that be fun? If every time somebody lied, their pants started fart, man.
That would be bad.
There wouldn't be anybody sitting in Congress. That's for darn sure.
That would be bad.
They'd all be in the Potomac trying to put their butts out is what they'd be doing. But we're going to talk about the NCAA tournament because we can.
Yeah.
And because you talk about, what is it you call him?
Coach K.
No, you call him something else. It's not Coach K.
Oh, the head of the NCAA.
There we go. Now, it was not all that long ago, maybe 3 weeks or tops.
Yeah, a few weeks back.
We should have a 300-team NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what we should have, says Coach K.
Yeah.
Much better do that than try to figure out this pandemic scheduling stuff, right? 300 team. This week, however, I think that for the safety and concern of our players, we should, and everybody else's health, we should just shut down the season. Wait till there's a vaccine. Number one, if you're really concerned about the health and welfare of everybody, the players and staff and all concerned, why do you wait till the ref comes over to you for you to pull your mask down and start screaming at him?
Yeah.
Just a little observation, you know?
Yeah. Why didn't you say it 3 weeks ago?
Or here's one. Would you have said this had your team not lost 2 games at home to non-conference opponents? Would you be saying this if the refs were suddenly not calling charges when they were actually the blocking fouls that they have always been?
Yeah.
And suddenly you're not getting your calls.
Yeah. He doesn't like it, that's for sure, and he's not happy.
And maybe, I'm not making any accusations at all. Just thinking maybe it crossed your mind that if you tried the back injury thing again, people would be going, not so sure about that one, Kay. How come your back never hurts when you have a winning season or a top 5 team? Your back never hurts them.
Yeah.
And to go through 2/3 of a season and see that it's not going to get any better, and I'm going to let my assistant, he'll be the interim. That way, the whole season won't count against my coaching record. He's
something else.
If I had had any respect left for him at the point that he did that, that would have lost the rest of the respect.
Yeah.
But lucky for him, I no longer respected him then. And then he pulled the back injury thing again. Through team? I've got to say, yeah, I would have to actually punish Grayson Allen. So I think I'm going to have a back injury and let Capel. Capel was still there then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Let Capel be the bad guy. Now, of course, Aaron Torres, because he believes that the tournament should go on and that the players should not be sent home. Of course, he's all excited because Nate Oates called out Coach K on this.
Yeah.
Then we got some on the other side that says, if you were really concerned, you never would have suggested 300. So
yeah,
there's a lot of this. It's you either care or you don't.
Yeah.
Cal, I believe, cares. Cal has been very consistent in his comments the whole time. And, telling his players, if you all screw up one of these little things that we've had y'all do, just takes one of you to screw it up, and it screws up everything for the whole team. So if you really want to be here and play, but now somebody said, who send the players home, how much punishment can that be? And I'm like, I bet their moms and dads love to hear you say that sending their kid home is a punishment that will cost them in the mental health department because they have to go home to their family. Honest to God, that is what a sports writer put down, that them going home to their moms and dads would cause mental health issues.
Well, I don't believe it was because they have to go to their mom and dad. I think you're saying, when you take that sport away from that guy that plays that sport, that might cause that. I could see that. I can understand that.
But as a writer, when your the whole way you make a living is putting words together in the correct sequence, then you would say sending them home takes them away from this one normal thing.
Right.
That could cause problems. You don't say send them home to be with their parents and they're going to end up depressed and wanting to kill themselves.
Right.
Not a word about getting with the sport. It's like, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I can't stand you.
Right. I mean, but I think that's what they were getting at.
But as a writer, get there a whole lot quicker.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying and what you mean are two different things.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you at your words. It's not my job to get inside your mind and try to decipher what you meant to say. That's all I'm saying. Because I can find the words to say what you mean.
Yeah.
A lot of other people can find the right words to say what they mean. That's it. Anyway, we don't have Richmond coming up this week after all.
Detroit Mercy.
Detroit Mercy, sorry. We don't have Richmond either.
No.
I still have the Richmond connection because they were all supposed to be in the Bluegrass Showcase together.
Yeah. Yeah. Detroit Mercy. Postponed again.
Now, they said that was a contact tracing thing, I believe, but did they say it was Detroit Mercy contact tracing or Kentucky contact tracing?
I don't know. Just the word postpone was just in my head and I didn't want to hear anything else. I was like, oh, man.
So, meanwhile, Western Kentucky gets, come on, Kentucky, play us. Like, well, I don't know.
I think we should. Let's get it.
No, I think right now the team's been broken down, and if they're getting a chance now to get some of that practice and that intense, that they've been out there, they have experienced doing it their way. Now, when Cal says, you can do it my way.
Yeah.
And it's another thing because I think 2 years, I guess it was 2 years ago, that we got the rare opportunity. I mean, to me, this was like, I got 5 things. If I get my top 5 Wildcat related things I've done in my lifetime, talking to Bill Kitely, that's up in that group. Getting to sit, you couldn't do any recordings. You couldn't live tweet it. All you could do was talk about it in generalities later. and use photos they provided to you. But watch Cal hold a real practice. And they did. That was a very limited number of media. It was invitation only. And they did not invite all of the media people. And color me like going, oh, smell me, Harriet. I'm on the short list.
Nice.
And I sat there that whole time. And we were up in the upper level. If you've ever been in the practice gym, there's like an observation level. And we were allowed to sit there, and you can't make a noise. I mean, if you talk, you can talk very quietly amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Don't let them hear you. And mostly all we ever did was, whoa, or Cal's teaching. Cal's down there teaching, hands-on teaching. I mean, it has other coaches doing their things, but when somebody did something wrong, no. And he'd go and he'd grab the guy, and then he would show him exactly, this is where you go. And then you put your foot here, you do this, and your arm there, and they say you do all. And he'd watch them step by step by step by step to do all those little things.
Yeah.
And to watch where they began the practice, and then 20 minutes later where they run that play they had started, and to see 3 or 4 players doing exactly what I was like, oh my gosh. And then you see the whole play come together. And how he did it with what he started out, I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, oh, he's teaching basketball. Yeah, he does understand the game, people. Just thought I'd let you know. Don't know if there's anything else I can say at that point. I will say, if you get on ukathletics.com and look up the women's schedule, if it says they're on SEC Network Plus, get thine self on thine computer or tablet or phone if you must. Smart TV, that's good. Watch it on. If you get SEC Network, you should have access to SEC Network Plus. You would just log in if it's your cable provider, your internet provider, whoever. That's how you log in. Watch these ladies. Watch them. Fundamentally sound. No, they don't dunk. Big whoop-de-freaking do. They make their 3-point shots. They hit their free throws. They know how to lay down a wicked screen. They can do a pick and roll. That's all I'm saying. It's not all about the dunks. Beyond that,
wow.
I don't know if there's anything else I can say after that.
Yeah, so Kentucky and Notre Dame this weekend. So, I mean, if it doesn't get canceled, that's a possibility these days. And we're fine with it. Safety first. But so far right now it is Kentucky and Notre Dame this weekend.
And Mike Bray says he never watches the last 6 minutes of that tournament game. He likes watching it all the way up to that last 6 minutes, and then that's Cat and Willie, wasn't it? Did them wrong.
Yeah.
In all the right ways. So yeah, that's happening this weekend. We'll know more about bowl situations in the next week or so.
And players opting out because it wasn't unanimous.
There was a vast majority.
Right. And I'll say too,
don't
Notre
be a
Dame
dumb fan. Please don't be a dumb fan.
Notre Dame played Detroit Mercy and won by 8 points. Brad Calipari only played 1 minute in that game. Didn't score nothing. So,
well, he didn't care about Coach Bray, but Notre Dame's lost a couple of games too.
Yeah.
So he's like, Kentucky's cornered, but we're kind of cornered. And I'm like, Notre Dame basketball, Kentucky basketball, buddy, you don't know what a corner is.
Right. And we could see Keon Brooks back on the floor this weekend. It is a possibility. He is practicing, but who knows?
I think if Jay's saying that, then y'all just don't even expect him on the floor.
I'll tell you this. Keon Brooks will be playing this weekend. Facts.
Delusions. I like it. My microphone has a nice big red light that I look at when I talk. So I look at the light. Not that you can see the light. I could turn around and let you see the light. See, got a light.
Wow.
It's what I do. I'm sorry, It's going to be a very weird week because we have this weekend basketball. They've flip-flopped the times for the CBS Sports Classic. So we were the late game, and Ohio State was the early game, and now they flipped it. So Kentucky, UCLA played like what 2:15.
Yeah,
and those other teams we don't care for play it for whatever.
Yes,
and it's going to be in Cleveland, which we know is the sports hotbed of the nation. Yeah, Michelle's being just a tad bit on the sarcastic side tonight.
You've been funny tonight, and I was just laughed all the way through. Like, yeah, that's super funny. But yeah, and also the Kentucky Notre Dame game this weekend is at 12 noon. So on CBS.
Because 12 midnight, I mean, even that for the television people, that would be pushing it.
Yeah, so
I would never eliminate
cheer on your team. Yeah. Don't
you'll make just
out.
as much sound as if there'll be same amount of sound in the arena, regardless. I mean, it's not like the Blue Hairs are there to let you down.
Right. Well, I'm saying back your team instead of going, they're trash, I'm done. Back your team, cheer your team on,
and really, really, really mute the TV. And get Tom Leach and sync it up, because these networks have not figured out. I've heard one or two games where they have gotten the audio from the commentators, which is remote.
Yeah.
But you can do some testing. I don't want to hear just all this sneaker squeak and little holler.
I don't want to hear them go to the side and go, did you know that Rudy went to Notre Dame, and just talk about that for 10 minutes? Just don't do that. Just please don't do that this time.
No, but if you're going to keep talking, you got to get the I don't want to have to sit there because I hear the voices and I'm thinking they might say something I need to hear. They might.
Doubtful.
Well, at least there's at least 3 comments in the average 2.5 hour game that you wanted to hear. But I'm having a hard time because the sound stuff is so out of whack. It's annoying. So you got to get your Tom Leach on. And whatever it takes to get them synced together, get them synced together.
Yeah.
Usually the radio is behind the TV, which is easy because I can pause the TV and let the radio catch up, and then I'm good.
Right.
Until there's a commercial, and then everything goes to heck in a handbasket. So, but we don't have as many commercials now because with the way things are, have you noticed not all those media timeout things? There's not near as many timeouts.
For some reason, I was thinking there were more commercials. Like I'm seeing more commercials like during sporting events, games and stuff.
Well, maybe others, but in the college basketball, it's like they play and they play and they play and they play and they play. And there's a timeout, but the camera's still on the players, so the timeout's not as long.
Now that you said that, yeah.
The media timeouts are very lengthy.
Yeah.
And annoying. And I'm like, we didn't have that, we didn't have that, we didn't have that, and didn't have. So that's cool. Anyway, I said that this coming week it'll be strange. We're closing in on Christmas. We're just matter of fact, 2 weeks from Christmas Eve.
Yes.
I'm going out on a limb saying we're not doing a Christmas Eve show.
I'm going back closer to the trunk of the tree saying we are. I mean,
you might be doing it all by your own.
Yeah, so we're not doing a show on Christmas Eve.
What happened to family and,
No,
I don't know when my family is going to be able to gather, but it's like
what I mean by doing a show is we will eventually do a show that we were supposed to do during that time.
But it won't be on Thursday and it won't be on Friday because I'm definitely not doing one on Christmas Day.
Right. It could be on Monday or Tuesday.
It could be on Wednesday,
Right.
the 23rd. Why don't we loosely plan the 23rd?
Okay. All right.
That makes more sense because it'll be after a recent game. And then we all get to like relax and not have to worry about stuff with our families. Not like our church, with this whole can't gather, can't do this, can't do that. So what we're doing instead on Monday, I say it's a bunch of us, but it's not. I mean, it's like 15 people. It's not like a gathering of 50. But we'll all come in socially distanced. I promise you that, because that's how we do all of the stuff.
Right.
And we're recording a Christmas Eve service on the 14th. We got the music. They sent the whole thing and lined that out. So this person's singing and these people are playing, and these same people are playing while somebody new comes in to sing and the other person goes out. Then these people that play the first two songs, they go out and you bring in replacements on the instruments. Then here comes some new vocal people. So you don't go in, like when you come in, you'll be in for two songs, except if you're the bass player or the drummer, because they have to play every song. But our basses and our drummers, two that work, two that are out, one that's on vacation. So we've only got two people left. You're playing every song. I'm playing two songs in the middle. So I'll come in, do my two songs. I exit whichever way off the stage, and then I'm done. So, I mean, it's cool. Like, we're going to get to do a whole service, and we get to recognize pretty much everybody in our praise band that plays over. So, like I said, 15, 17 of us, whatever, that play. And we all get a shot at it. And it will be broadcast on Christmas Eve. So, anybody that wants a service that they can watch from the comfort of their home with their family on Christmas Eve, I'll be posting the link on Facebook. And you can look for me because I get to play the two coolest songs. I am so excited. Anyway. Well, I always get the bad songs. I got the really good ones. I am really excited because I got the best piano songs. It's been a day, Jay. It has been a day.
I know.
It's been a day. Thank goodness I did get to temper some of that with a visit from the grandbaby.
Good stuff. And Thursday night podcasting. I know you look forward to that. I will edit a yes in there, so it doesn't matter what you say.
It was just a day.
Right.
And the podcast kind of evens it all out. Anyhow, it's Christmas time. There's a vaccine that's starting to ship, and we're not out of the tunnel. But if you look way out there, you'll see a light. It might take another 4 months before you get to see what color the light is. And another couple of months after that, you actually get out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But the light's there. For the first time in a long, long time, I feel a sense of real hope in that direction. So just hang on, mask up, wash your hands, and stay away from people. But love them anyway. Just stay away from them. Which really, in some people, it's really easy to do that. I wouldn't touch them with a 39.5-foot pole, much less 6 foot. But anyhow, yes, I've been listening to your meme one, Mr. Grinch. It's a good song. It's a good song. Many valid points in that song. Oh, come on. Join in. If you want to have more fun like this, you could just follow at Rockin' KY Blue on Twitter or at Rockin' KY Blue podcast on the Gram. And by the way, the kids call it the Gram. I did some research this week. No, they call it the Gram.
Well, Jay Hayes calls it egg.
Which means nobody else will ever call it egg because they'll say how uncool and wrong and how absolutely...
It's going to catch
not right. No, it hasn't. You've been saying it for 2 months, and nobody with any self-respect will say it. You could follow the wrong one at JHAZZEKY on Twitter or JAYHAZZEKY on the gram. I'm at Forever Big Blue, FOREVER, Big Blue altogether, no spaces, no anything. Or I'm Michelle, MICHELE, Golfs a Lot on the gram. Haven't posted on the gram for a while. Mostly what you see on the gram are pictures and videos of my adorable grandson, who is, without a doubt, the cutest kid ever born. And I hear that from everybody, not just me. All that said, be kind to each other, really. It's that time of year. If you can help somebody, help them. Not because you get credit for it, because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Not because you get paid back, not because you get your name in the paper. Just do it. Look for people that need some help, brighten their day, be the change you want to see in the world. Meanwhile, it's not like I do anything but go to Aldi once a week. Maybe the Dollar Tree if there's not very many people in there. But rest assured, wherever we go and whatever little bitty bit we do,
we're always rocking Kentucky Blue.
Thanks for listening to the Rockin' Kentucky Blue podcast. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Radio Public, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to stop by and leave us a rating and review. And tune in next time for another episode of Rockin' Kentucky Blue.